My name is Lucas Bennett, and I'm 24 years old. For the last 6 months, I thought my parents had finally done something good for me, something fair, something mine. I was wrong, dead wrong, and the truth didn't come out during a calm conversation or a therapy session. It came out like a nuclear bomb, wrapped in Christmas wrapping paper, served with mashed potatoes, and detonated by the only person in my family who still had a spine, my grandpa Walter. This is the story of how my parents gave my birthday apartment to my stepsister, and how grandpa exposed everything at the worst possible moment for them. Chapter 1. The Apartment Promise. It all started back in June, on my 24th birthday. My biological mom passed away when I was 7. Dad remarried 2 years later to a woman named Vanessa, who brought along her daughter from a previous marriage, Sophia. Sophia was 2 years older than me, but she's always acted like the world owed her a throne. Growing up, I got hand-me-downs. Sophia got new iPhones. I got a used bicycle. Sophia got a brand new car at 16. I worked 2 jobs to pay for community college. Sophia dropped out of university because it was too stressful, and Dad paid for her 6-month trip to Europe. So when Dad called me on my birthday and said, "Son, we bought you an apartment. It's a small 1-bedroom downtown. It's yours," I almost cried. Not because of the money, because for once I felt seen. Dad explained that the apartment was in a new building near the river, fully paid, title under my name, a gift from him, Vanessa, and Grandpa Walter, who had chipped in a significant amount from Grandma's estate. I remember hugging the phone. I remember telling my girlfriend Mia that maybe, just maybe, my family had changed. Yeah, I was an idiot. Chapter 2. The Slow Poison. For the next 4 months, everything seemed fine. I painted the apartment, I bought cheap furniture from IKEA. I was proud. But then, in October, Sophia started dropping hints. "You know, Lucas, that apartment has a better view than my whole house. It's not fair you get a free place when I'm still renting. Mom says you don't even need it since you live near campus." I ignored her. I should have seen the snake in the grass. Then came November. Dad called me into his home office, just him and Vanessa. "Lucas," Dad began, rubbing his temples, "we need to talk about the apartment." Vanessa took over. "Sophia's landlord is evicting everyone from her building next month. She has nowhere to go. We thought, since you're barely using the apartment, you could let her stay there temporarily." I hesitated. "Temporarily, how long?" "A few months, maybe a year. You're so generous, Lucas." I loved my stepsister, even if she was spoiled, so I agreed. Temporarily. Chapter 3. The Theft. By December, Sophia had changed the locks. I found out when I went to pick up a package. My key didn't work. When I knocked, Sophia opened the door wearing silk pajamas, standing in my living room, where my furniture had been replaced with designer pieces. "Oh, Lucas," she laughed. "Mom and Dad talked to you, right? I live here now." I called Dad immediately. His response? "Son, it's just temporary. Don't make this difficult." Vanessa texted me, "Sophia needs this more than you. Be a good brother." I was stunned, but the real bomb hadn't dropped yet. Chapter 4. Christmas Eve Suspicion. On December 23rd, I went to Grandpa Walter's house. He's 78, sharp as a razor, and never trusted Vanessa. "Lucas," he said, pouring us both whiskey, "did your parents ever show you the title deed to that apartment?" I admitted they hadn't. Grandpa smiled, but it wasn't warm. It was the smile of a man who had been waiting for the right moment to strike. "I paid for 60% of that apartment," he said, "your grandmother's inheritance. I told your father the title was to be in your name only, but I have copies of everything, and I have a feeling something changed." He handed me a manila folder. Inside, the original purchase agreement, bank statements, and a note from my late grandmother that said, "For Lucas and only Lucas." "Don't say anything yet," Grandpa warned. "Let them show their true colors tomorrow at Christmas dinner in front of everyone." I agreed, but I had no idea how explosive it would be. Chapter 5. Christmas Dinner, the Calm Before. Christmas Day, my Aunt Margaret's house. 23 relatives crammed into a suburban living room with a 10-foot tree and way too much eggnog. Dad, Vanessa, and Sophia arrived together. Sophia was wearing a new diamond necklace. She kissed my cheek and whispered, "Thanks again for the apartment. I'm thinking of renovating the kitchen." I said nothing. Dinner was served: ham, mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. Everyone was laughing. Grandpa sat at the head of the table, quiet, watching. He had the manila folder on his lap, hidden under a napkin. After dessert, Dad stood up. He tapped his glass with a fork. "Before we open presents," Dad announced, "I have a special announcement. Vanessa and I have decided to officially transfer ownership of the downtown apartment to Sophia as a late Christmas gift." The room went quiet. Sophia beamed. Vanessa clapped. A few relatives mumbled, "That's nice." Dad continued, "Lucas has agreed to this." I opened my mouth to speak, but I never got the chance, because Grandpa stood up. Chapter 6. The Bomb Drops. "No, he didn't agree," Grandpa said. His voice was quiet, but it cut through the room like a blade. Dad froze. "Dad, what are you—" "Sit down, David," Grandpa ordered, and my father, a 52-year-old man, sat down like a schoolboy. Grandpa pulled out the manila folder. He opened it slowly, deliberately. "On June 15th, I transferred $180,000 from your mother's estate to purchase an apartment for Lucas. The agreement, signed by David and Vanessa, stated that the title would be solely in Lucas Bennett's name." He pulled out a second paper. "But 3 weeks ago, David and Vanessa filed a new deed. They removed Lucas's name. They put Sophia's name on it." Gasps around the table. "They forged Lucas's signature on the transfer document." Vanessa turned white. Sophia stopped smiling. Grandpa wasn't done. "That is felony forgery. That is elder financial abuse, because my money was used, and I have already filed a police report. As of this morning, the apartment is under legal hold. Not Sophia, not Lucas. The court will decide." He turned to me. "Lucas, I'm sorry you had to hear it this way, but your parents and your stepsister tried to steal from you, and I will not allow it." Chapter 7. The Aftermath. The silence lasted 10 full seconds. Then Sophia screamed, "You can't do that!" Vanessa started crying. Those fake, manipulative tears. "Walter, please, we were going to tell him." Dad just stared at his plate. He didn't deny it, because he couldn't. Aunt Margaret whispered, "I always knew Vanessa was trouble." My cousin Jenna pulled out her phone and started recording. Within an hour, the story was on family group chats. Within 3 days, half the town knew. I didn't say much at dinner. I just looked at Grandpa, nodded, and mouthed, "Thank you." He winked. Chapter 8. Justice and a little revenge. The legal battle took 4 months, but with Grandpa's documents and my clean record, the judge ruled in my favor. The apartment was returned to me. Sophia was ordered to pay $12,000 in damages for changing the locks and removing my furniture. Vanessa and Dad were fined for fraud and ordered to take parenting classes, which the judge called embarrassingly necessary. Dad tried to apologize. "Your mother pressured me." I said, "You're a grown man. You signed the papers." We don't talk much anymore. Vanessa divorced Dad 6 months later, not because of the fraud, but because he lost his usefulness. Sophia moved to another state and blocked me on everything. Good riddance. Epilogue. Christmas 1 year later. This Christmas, I sat in my apartment. My girlfriend Mia made hot cocoa. Grandpa Walter was in the armchair by the window watching snow fall over the river. "You know," Grandpa said, "your grandmother would be proud of you." "She'd be proud of you too," I said. He smiled. Then he handed me a small box. Inside, Grandma's wedding ring and a note that said, "For Lucas and only Lucas. Always." I didn't cry, but I came close. Some families break you, and some family members, just one, can put you back together. This Christmas, I learned the truth. That apartment was never theirs to give, because it was always mine.